So Matter started the Nàiseanta over in Stornoway in 16 teams, and 4 went to the semi-finals last night in the Storytelling Centre with Inverness Royal Academy A and B going against each other in a derby, you could say, and Gaelic Secondary School against the Nicholson Institute A. I think the educators had a very difficult job to do, and as you say, it was the Nicholson and Inverness Royal Academy. So now I have Finlay, who I understand is very keen on shinty, and with him is Callum, who is very fond of music and plays the bagpipe at competitive level. And we have Hannah and Sandy from the Nicholson Institute. They're in 5th year, and they've been in the same class since they went to Crawligan in back school. I have to say they know each other very well. So if you could welcome our 2 teams tonight. Before we move on, I would just like to welcome all of you who are listening in Radio Gael, wherever you may be, and those who are present here today at the Scottish Parliament building. And as Kenneth said, you can also see scottishparliament.tv on the internet, and you can see the programme later as well. So the time now to meet the adjudicators. So we have Agnes Rennie. She's a manager of the Acad Publishing in Stornoway and is a chairman of Urosairo Gaising, the Golson Trust. She has been working all her life in economic development and social development throughout the Highlands and Islands. We also have Professor Robert Boyd Robertson, who was a principal at Solmorosta in Skye. From 2009 up to 2018, he has a wide remit in education and has been very much involved with Gaelic organisations, Lochran, the Gaelic Books Council. That's just some of them. And he was given an honorary doctorate from Edinburgh University for everything that he's been done, and he was the ambassador for Gaelic in 2015. And with Agnes and Boyd, we have Ian Stephen Morrison from South Uist. He's been in several different media works as a researcher to a news person. He's now editor of the Uist local paper, and he's also on the board of MG Ullable. He's also a crofter. Please welcome our adjudicators tonight. Okay, so the rules and how the debate will move on. Both first speakers will have 6 minutes. So the first speaker will speak for the argument, and then the second speaker will be against it. And then the second speaker from both teams will have 5 minutes. You'll hear this, 30 minutes. When your time is up, you'll hear this bell. If you go over the time, try to be close to finishing anyway. So you'll then get a minute to consider what you're going to raise in the next part of the debate, that is the questions. There's 5 minutes to ask questions of the opposite team, and there will be also a bell at the end of that time. I think you'll have about 30 seconds then to gather your thoughts before you give your final presentation. And one speaker from each team will do the conclusions. I think that's enough from me then. So we'll start the debate. So to our subject. If it wasn't for the 2 world wars, we wouldn't be as progressive as we are. So you've got 6 minutes, and we'll start with Inverness Royal Academy A for the motion. So please welcome Finlay. two world wars. They were terrible things. So the First World War lasted 4 years and the second for 6 years. So that's 10 years of destruction. So we had 7 million civilians died and 6 million in the Second World War, and we saw some of the most brutal battles. We at Inverness Royal Academy are not denying that that was a bad thing. Nevertheless, look at the progress that came from it. We saw progress in politics, philosophy, new technology, equality, and lots of medical advances. If one country is in control of lots of other countries, it's colonization. And then you have one country in charge, and you try and change their culture and their language. So the British Empire was one of the largest empires, was one of the largest up to the First World War. They had control of 35.5 million square kilometres and 412 million people, almost a quarter of the world's population at the time. Up to the First World War, Ireland was under control of Britain, and they were very unhappy because they felt that they weren't properly represented. They were losing their culture, their language, and their equality. And that's the way it was for many countries throughout the world. As a Gael, we know what it is like if people mock our language and culture. After the Second World War, a lot of the empires broke up because people recognised that it was not right that one country should control other countries. They accepted more progressive ideas, and like us, valued a different language and culture. In the First World War, for the first time, there were people who were rich and those who were poor worked side by side. And this broke down the class system that used to exist. Before that, there was a huge disparity, and I mean a huge disparity, in terms of housing, social opportunities, employment opportunities, and free time. Now, people are respected because of what they do, the skills that they employ, what they are like as a person, not because of their family's wealth. This means that Britain is a kinder place with better opportunities for everybody. In the First World War, for the first time, women had an opportunity to work out with the homes. Traditionally, women would be left at home doing cooking, looking after the children, cleaning the house. Roles that had not changed for thousands of years. So they needed a turning point. With the men away at war, the women had to take on these roles, work such as driving buses, working in the factories, police and clerks and firemen. The women demonstrated that they could deal with this kind of work because the war gave them the opportunity that the people of Britain have, and they had to change their minds in terms of women's abilities. The suffragettes had been fighting for the right to vote since 1903, and years before that, to try and get the vote, but time and again they were turned down. However, after the First World War, some women got the right to vote. It wasn't a new idea, but there were more and more people agreeing that it was right that women could have an impact on politics, and war did that. There's no two ways about it. People could see how strong and able women were when they had to adapt to different roles through the war. and they could vote for the good of the country. How long would they have had to fight had it not been for the opportunity that the war gave them? It wasn't just the women who saw political changes. With the social changes that I mentioned, politics had to change to represent the whole country, rich and poor alike. So the Labour had to come into being then, and the war changed how people looked at politics, and it wasn't just the rich who were there. Thank you. So, against the motion, the Nicholson Institute. Please welcome Hannah. Progress. Progress is something that improves people's situation and is better than they were before. For example, the Isle of Lewis, where Sandy and I were born and brought up, where the culture and language and are so happy that you can't find anywhere else. A couple of months ago, the islands, the Western Isles, were voted the best place in Scotland, the happiest place. The people in our islands have recovered from heartbreak many times, and we still come together as a community. And it wasn't the First or Second World Wars that did that, it was the people. When the war started, there was about 30,000 people in the Western Isles between Harris and Ness. Out of that, 6,200 left to fight, and 1,200 never returned. So about 20% of our people who died on our behalf. A new generation that weren't born. And we lost the skills that these people could have put towards progress in our communities. I'm sure you're of the opinion that these are not huge numbers, but for a small island such as ours, it's a very different story. Children were left without fathers, women left without their husbands, and mothers without sons. How is that progress? It was just destruction, unhappiness and heartache at an unbearable level. I spoke to my grandmother, and she told me that she didn't meet her father as a result of the war. My great-grandparents lived in America, but my great-grandmother came home to visit her sick mother, and 6 months later my granny was born. She had bought the 2 tickets for both of them to return to America in September 1939, but 2 days before they were due to leave, war broke out, and they couldn't. And my great-grandfather Kenneth died in the war, and my great-grandmother's heart broke. And my granny recalls that she remembers her mother crying every day at the loss of her life partner. But that's only one of the stories that happened as a result of the war. This is the kind of progress that Inverness Royal Academy are talking about. Most of you here will have heard of the Iolair, one of the ships that were taking our sailors home to Lewis after the 5 years of dealing with the First World War. 31 days after the end of the war, on the 1st of January 1919 at 1:55 a.m, the Iolair hit the Beasts of Holm with 284 sailors on board. Only 79 of those survived. Only 79. It was one of the worst things to happen to the island, and Sandy and I, we can't just put into words how awful that was for the islands. Just think about it just now. If you were waiting for your son, your sweetheart, after 5 years without them, they were coming back from war alive, and you found out that they had perished 27.5 metres from land. You'd never see them again. That was what happened to hundreds of families in the island. And after that, thousands left for America. Is that progress for Lewis? I don't think so. If these men had survived and had, with all the skills that they had, I think we would have been much more progressive, and I think Sandy will expand on that later. What about the veterans, the people who came back from the world alive? It impacted them. We see post-traumatic stress disorder is very common in old veterans. Those who have these difficulties have problems with insomnia and depression. That's one veteran every fortnight commits suicide. Is that progress? I don't think so. What good does it do? And this is at a time when we recognise PTSD. But what happened to those who were shell-shocked or gassed in the trenches? They were left to suffer by themselves. How could Inverness Royal Academy say that there was progress from the First and Second World War? It had a very negative impact on our island. It was heartbreak and death. There was no progress. So that's a brutal philosophy. If you think that that millions of people have to die in order to have progress. Although it's not your world, but it's mine and Sandy's world. And nobody's going to change my mind. There was no progress as a result of war.
Hannah.
Thank you very much, Hannah. We now have the second speaker from both teams, 5 minutes each. For the motion, this time again, representing Inverness Royal Academy A, please welcome Callum. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, we represent Inverness Royal Academy, and we are sure that the 2 world wars resulted in us being so progressive. We've made a lot of progress as a result of the 2 world wars. I'm going to start with a question. Have you ever had an X-ray? Have you taken penicillin for an infection? Well, we would have neither of those things were it not for both wars. And also, plastic surgery came as a result of the war, because if people have an acid attack or fire, such as happened to Katie Piper, and 2008, her former boyfriend threw sulfuric acid in her face. So she then had problems with breathing, but with plastic surgery, she looks better and she's much more confident in herself. Were it not for these wars, there's a chance that we wouldn't have that science available to us today. In the First World War, shrapnel was very dangerous to the people's faces. Bits of metal were going into people's faces. It would also taking things like bits of cloth or mud into the wound. And the soldiers did live, but it was a challenge. So there was a fellow, Harold Gillis, who set up plastic surgery for the first time. And if it weren't for the 2 world wars, we wouldn't have this progress in plastic surgery, and it makes a big difference today and helps people who, the likes of Katie Piper, who have gone through such trauma. And she even went to Strictly Come Dancing this year. So we have 8 million people travelling on planes every day. That's everybody who lives in Moscow. And they're all dependent on cabin pressure, which is something else that came as a result of the two wars. If the wars hadn't happened, we wouldn't have cabin pressure and we wouldn't have been able to fly to Stornoway for the debate. And I know that the team from Stornoway travelled by plane yesterday to come to the debate. So after the First World War, there were 20,000 people shell-shocked. And this is where we saw the effect of war on people's minds. The wars have existed for as long as people have existed, so they must have always caused depression and mental illnesses. This is the first recognition of this illness and trying to help people who are affected by it. The same thing happened on a much larger scale as a result of the Second World War, and the government had to research people with mental illnesses and give them the support that they needed. That was the first time that people started to talk about mental illnesses in the open, something that is very useful today. We see progress in the type of medication that people get and how we deal with mental illnesses as a result of the two world wars. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're aware of how different and how much better our lives are in comparison to 100 years ago. And the Nicholson Institute is very wrong if they think that that's right. Thank you. Thank you, Callum. So this is Sandy speaking against the motion. The two world wars. 10 years that will never get back. And in that time, we lost 97 million men and women. How can Inverness Royal Academy say that we've made progress? Neither Hannah or I don't see that. We're not saying that nothing came out of it in terms of technology, but we think that would have come even quicker were it not for the destruction and the loss of young men and women who had the skills and the abilities at the times of the wars. Indeed, we would have made much more progress if the two wars hadn't held us back. Ladies and gentlemen, what is progress? Hannah detailed it for you earlier on, but I'll do it again. It means that the life and situation of people are improved. So what has that done for us? Causing millions of people, of innocent people, to be put to death. It's not done any favours for us. And that's what Hannah and I are showing you. Where is Great Britain in comparison with other countries? Behind them, for example, Japan and Germany that lost the wars. We're in a state with Brexit. You've only got to look at the streets on this city. Homeless people, poverty. It becomes an unstable place to live. So what did the war do for us? Millions of our people died that could be working with skills and abilities. Think about Switzerland, one of the lowest crime rates in the world, and they're very rich. They weren't involved in the two world wars, and look at where they are now. In comparison, we are very poor. We're in such a state that countries ahead of us as a result of the war. What about Norway? 99% of their electricity comes from hydro schemes, more than any other country in the world. And they're the second richest country in Europe. Interesting that those two countries were not involved in the war, and they're considered to be two of the most advanced countries in the world. Progress. Are you in Inverness want to tell that to the Jews? When 6 million innocent people were put to death, how can that be seen as progress? Think of the kind of world that we could have in Scotland today were it not for the world wars. We'd be much more progressive, and we wouldn't have suffered this destruction. Did anyone ever write poetry or stories about the progress as a result of wars? I don't think they did. And there's a good reason for that. There's a good reason for it. We all know that it was destruction that came and not progress. To today. We won those wars, but as Murdo MacFarlane the Bard said, great is your impact and great is your cost. Thank you, Sandy. Now, both teams have a minute to talk to each other about the kind of questions that they would wish to ask the other team. But while you're considering that, we'll take some time to thank those who support the debate and fund it each year, this year, from Board na Gaelic, the government, Glasgow, Scottish Skills Development Scotland, Glasgow City Council, SQA, and also from Cumann Gaelic and the staff of Cornelian and Shear. And before the time they have, we will hear bits of the debate that we had last night. The two teams from Inverness Royal Academy A and B were pitched against each other. And artificial intelligence is a danger to mankind. And Gairloch against the Nicholson Institute A, and their debate was drugs should be made legal to make our cities safer. And we'll hear that while the adjudicators are considering the result. So that's the minute over, and we'll now move into the debate. So for tonight's subject, were it not for the two world wars, we would not be so advanced today. So, for the motion, Inverness Royal Academy has an opportunity to ask questions of the Nicholson Institute. Hannah said a lot about the destruction of war, and we're aware of that. And she spoke a lot about what happened at the time. But what the motion says today, but I said the impact, it affected our island so much at the time, but it continues to impact us. Our service is to remember the Islair, so that impact reverberates round to today. How can it not? But don't say that it doesn't impact people, but you said a lot about what was wrong at the time, like the Islair and everything else. It's very sad. But you didn't say much about what was wrong. That's what was wrong. That was its impact on us as an island. A lot of people went to America. So there are people left on the islands. That doesn't mean that everybody left. Another question. Do you think that things would be as progressive for women were it not for the wars? But as a result of wars, Britain had to be built up again with the new parliament, and the women got the vote. But you raised the point about women, that it was a work that they did when the men came back from the war. The women lost the jobs. Yes, they did. No, they didn't. Because the people of Britain said that the women were now capable of carrying out this work, and they didn't lose their work. We're not saying that they're not able. When the men returned, they lost that employment, and you say that the place was in the home, and that's what happened to them. They had to go back to where they were. When people were killed during the war, if those who were killed during the war, what happened to the work that they used to do? The women do that work. Are you of the opinion that it's better to lose these men? No. Well, yes, in a way. So you're saying it's good to murder people? That's not what we said. We said it was a good thing for women. We didn't say that. We didn't say it was good to have to get people killed. These people were killed as a result of war, and then the women filled these positions that the So we learned from our mistakes. And you spoke about the Isle 8, and we know that that was a dreadful thing. But the ferry goes from Ullable to Stornoway every day, and that's much safer nowadays. So we learn from our mistakes. So we learnt that 201 people died, and that you think that's what caused us to have progress. But they wouldn't have been on the boat in the first place if it wasn't for the war. They wouldn't have died. But then we wouldn't have the Calmac boats being safer. So we learned from our mistakes. It wasn't a mistake. It was an accident. And it wouldn't have happened had it not been for the war. So we now have technology like radar. So if it would, that makes no difference. These families wouldn't have lost their men. Another question then. You said the explanation of progress. So what Finlay and I said went into, I don't think that's a question, is it? Okay, that's the question's over for Inverness Royal Academy. So the time now to give an opportunity to the Nicholson Institute to ask the questions. You said that women got the vote as a result of the First World War. Why did the people of New Zealand, the women in New Zealand, get the vote in 1893 when there was no war? Well, they had a very different way of life here in Britain. And after the war, they had to build up the government again, and that gave... So what was different about our country? It's a different country, different culture. But New Zealand was part of the empire at that time. But it was a different government. No, it was a different culture. But the women had begun their campaign in Britain before the war started. When the war started, that stopped. It wasn't just as a result of the war. Women were already doing that, but the war helped women to get the vote. But it's not. I don't think Finlay said that was the only reason. I think he said that it helped towards the understanding that people had that women were able. If the war hadn't been there, the women in the chamber here today wouldn't be voting. So what you're saying today, were it not for war, the women wouldn't be voting. Perhaps they would have the vote, but might not have happened as quickly. It might have happened. I think we're talking too much. How was it progress that 1 out of 6 in Inverness were lost as a result? One out of every 6 men who went to war lost their lives. How is it progress when 1 out of every 6 from Inverness were lost? We didn't say that killing was a good thing. We didn't ask how. How was it progress? There were other advancements as a result of the war. All the medical advancements. But what a price. But all the medicines that came. But we have the result. The X-ray was in 1895 we had X-rays, so that was before the war. So the war didn't get that. The population today is nearly 7 billion. But these people who died in the war, their skills, we've lost these skills and we would have been much more advanced. I don't think we would. Are you saying that those who died weren't able, had no skills? I'm just asking. No. You spoke about new technology. Did you accept that new technology were used as a medium for killing? So how is that progress? Things like penicillin. How does that kill? I don't think we said that. I said technology. I don't have penicillin on my phone. Materials such as... So radar was created as a result of the war. How do you know that it wouldn't have happened anyway, whether the war had happened or not? But it brought it forward, and it's much better as a result of the war. They had to find a way of getting where the German warships were coming in and the planes and try and stop them to save people's lives. But they wouldn't have needed that if it weren't for war, and we wouldn't have had millions of deaths. Is that what you were asking? So that is the questionings over. Thank you very much for that. You now have about 30 seconds just to bring your conclusions, just polish them. And we'll take an opportunity for a minute or two of quiet, and maybe that's needed.
Sin maha ha núne acah seachad. Na dámán na niste son na cogúníon acah.
It's now time to come to conclusions. So you have between a minute and 2 minutes. So for the motion, Inverness Royal Academy, here is Callum. In conclusion, we have proved to you that we are as advanced today as a result of both world wars. It's clear that that's true. Hannah and Sandy from the Nicholson Institute are totally wrong if they think that this isn't right. And this is ridiculous. As Finlay said, were it not for the wars, there would be a lot of countries still under the colonisation. A lot more freedom today, and that's made huge progress as a result of both world wars. We would also seen progress were it not for both world wars. A lot more people would be dying today. Medicine has come so far forward, and matters wouldn't be very different were it not for the wars. The Nicholson Institute spoke about the destruction of the war, but what the recommendation was on the motion meant today, and we think that that is the case. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Callum. And the last speaker tonight, it is Sandy. Progress. What kind of progress are Inverness Royal Academy talking about? It's progress that would have happened without war. Hannah and I have shown you. Were it not, if the wars hadn't happened, we would be a lot more progressive. And nothing that Inverness Royal Academy say can make us change our mind. As a result of the wars, progress stopped and millions of innocent people were killed. If you're saying that killing is progress, I don't know what on earth you're saying. You said, in a way, to kill people, but Nicholson Institute do not agree with that. You also said that there would be people helping people with mental illnesses as a result of war. But Hannah told you that there is at least one veteran every fortnight committing suicide. We lost a generation of men and women and we lost millions of people that would not have needed to die. Able, skilled people, and would have made huge progress. And we wish in the Nicholson Institute to have had the opportunities to have been raised in a world like that. It was a loss with no purpose. And if we avoid this kind of war, we'll be much more progressive. Thank you very much. That then concludes the debate. My thanks to both teams, Inverness Royal Academy A and the Nicholson Institute A. You did very well. I'm going to ask the adjudicators to leave the room to consider what they've heard, and while Agnes Boyd and Ian Stephen are away, we'll get an opportunity to listen to part of the debate that happened last night in the semi-finals. Inverness Royal Academy A and B against each other is AI, artificial intelligence, is a danger to mankind. And then we'll hear from Gaelic against Nicholson A, and they were considering drugs should be made legal to make our cities safer. This is how the night went.
Chadige Ivanan is Dunya Ursula. Is Misha Bethany Kitson is Hashinya Erukukuk Academy Real in Unish. Hashinya skip a bee gutud son of Ollie. Nish, nach Toshiki Sheen, la Jay had tuksha inulach a keelachug. A there Google, ha a keelachug, charig agus lesachug system in computer, a ha commazark geneven a cholanig, ed visserchug derne, maar anjachug kainch, a jan of co-union agus etterhangig canon. Han pri of pars den minigug shin, visserchug derne. Ma had derne a cúd and tuksha ake a stach ja robotin, jutig eet en seul a torst harish. Had derne edfiachin. Aan de Davi le trichit, be 3 kiet, shaket sa kehed, millen oprichin ed gaal, is be tuksha inulach is cara. Hashin mad a hula dunya aan in America, a kawan operachke. A hula tuanach, a hula dunya ha gopper la edigit, a hula dunya ha gopper aan in bu. Aan in Davi le koik jek, hachad rutigen uavasach. Van njach oprach Volkswagen en de madavig aan in tupast. Wel, gaan jou fish jervig akin jine tupast de waan. Van firrenig shaw, vichit ze hun blene a jush, nu de van robot a janu kron ed. Van prief neach gra, robot ed a madavig njach oprach. Sha robot autonomous a van, is hashin a kielahug nach ro dunjes en bi a kumas machged. Bega jan leven root eke heen is shawje hacheth. Kimmeth is sudden ja skippe a fuse kretchen geweld tuksje in jelach saveltje, nu hij a ho ekelach shaw. Nach elshin finish giljad geweld tuksje in jelach kunnerstach. Tappa levers on eistach room agus keinig ha jalis kuach.
Acharige Evanahin agus a Ginne Ursula. Hashinya ag Academy Real Internish skippe a gutur a neu a volley. Tasha mi levy gra, kimmer eacher, a ha tuksje in je loch kunnerstoch. Shirut a rein shinje agus shirut a ha smachga kinjer. Rein shinje a robot show agus ha tar rutten nes miss aun. Maar eschempler, ha murst, kokkig, chinjes agus kjannerkoch. Ga bigario dragen tuksje in je loch a wie een previgus as mode akin. A wel schiefje a klachkig kar? Wel, ha mi kindjach gewel misje. Agus nach helle skrissel, nu de ha feemakke te feef aan een traffic zo'n unje overzag vatte, ja, nu de ha dunje doveel a gin of 10 meles een uur. Nog juist toepastjen een raad. Wel, ha lucht sciences munjig gewel een frichterst ache. Agus she karichen a ha gen gulein heen. Or suring na karichen sho, a torst amach 1% gen een merach dunne. Agus ha 8% je tupestjen een raad an kara ek merach dunne. Kudjoch, a wel schiefse reef a viaun een kar agus a smunjachig. Ha mi a geri rutigen ille a genev, maar a kreeg nog een oper een laptop. Nja it dollar een phonachim, nja fuse a cattle. Wel, suring ut a hulle kalshin a genev aan een kar a hagen gulein heen. Anish ha mi dollar vi bri mi een Xenex robots. A wel vis akiv j haun een Xenex robots. Chara na misje. Ach, sherut scanjala haun. Ha a klachgig aan een hospitalen, agus be a genev zap na bacteria, viruses, agus spores, a vieg a guvrachig HAIs. She shin chinesen a ha dunje a fijn vo hospitalen. Ha barach dunje a vasachig van a HAI show, na tupestjen een raad, AIDS agus alsle bralich, kolle, agus smunig, han een jenen a gra gun je rut kunnerstoche ha show. A fel fysacif cohawn yn Harold Shipman. Se Dr. Alk a fa ymyrstachig barach na da kiet kirkut dunje. Da kiet kirkut dunje. Ha sin een arf je dunje sa chiet vlenas in skolaking. Smun je hier sin, blena fat myrstachig. Ach, me var robot a klarig gu kerst, ga viech chances en bi, rut mar seo a tachirst. Kudjoch, ha da kiet kirkut mele dunje a vasachig skas typischin medicoch gach blena. Ach, had je nog een keertse keer dunje a vasachig vo tuksje injelach rief aan een zeugig medicoch. Ha sin a jervigig gu vel tuksje injelach tar na saveltje na machen dunje.
Chadige Ivanan agus a gunne úsle. Ha sinne vo Academy Real in Yornish skip a B hast gu jerv son a volley. Han a balich vo Academy Real in Yornish skip a gu tuud cad ma haid a smenjochig nachheel tiksje ingeloch knurst gemach dinje. Ha a ho fallashach gevel. Ha eisiau ma acim a rutigen a ha uafs o knurstjoch se chenje agus matchichen. Ha chenja agus matchichen ho femel, agus ha sin gachlachgig fiús a hulala. Bí sin gachlachgig son chess, son calcarach agus son a shalak. Ach coit dé ho kunnersjoch sa hatiad. Shall an chenje an in California. Ha ochget is shach dinje an basachig, agus ha coig kiet dinje chau. Gidach an J huur mo ho oor Alexa. Ha Alexa nan inel beek, ha an ganjochig an gu akit, bi I rikkers keistjen agus kutjoch bi kleich kjol. Ha fichit miljang dinje Alexa I kianoch. Ha komis ik Alexa a geistjoch gu a hullerut de ha u gra. Koik ha fis ko ha geistjoch yin a korichin akit, agus J juttig yet a janu leis an fistrach seo. Sin Latin Jew, gebied dinje fuse a koit de mach na hinjer kinachke, biet Jioch a feinach, Alexa, kori se ha in amisher kaltoch an Jew. Is chanjel Alexa fuse go gleek chin. In shocking sa chai, jainig mi gu Alexa, Caviet dinje a brien is Gaelic. Agus vel fisaket jerekadi. Garlic is a herb that originated in Central Asia. Muda hail Alexa a ganjochig and fachkel Gaelic. Well, ha sin uavas o kunnerstoch nam viachse. Tap levers an a geistjoch.
A chadige, a vnaan, a ginje ursle. Ha een kusper a hakin an Jew. Guma kutrmach. Agus bie gu kienjach kutrmach zijn amri tjach. Agus ha mi een dogus geval shisha is jay kalmach lointjin en nugi a volley kujach. Ha een ranzachig a rein shinje a shaltin nach el tutja injelach nach hunners do wachen dunje. Ach, get a root kujachel agus root mirvelach a haun. Agus a riest gaan je kunners a haun. Ons na staatjen eunichtje. Zijn rai suan laar, hat tuhanig leis een triplich nach elke jaar luch oprachachke. Agus, gaan jullie het fijn en bunach bucharjijf ein van een suan laar. Ach, enish, ha injal tuksje injeloch a heen gan savelig. Surin do tuhanig a jene eerste gen injelsho, son a kutjachig leis een buan achke. Surin gen injel a torstestjach, Och achgeren je suan laad aan een la. Sin een root die trichet luch goprich. Agus ik een aum bi a keinachig. Voor de wel tar suan laad agus hij de fuse a ganachig chinjes aan een aatje. Njo zijn loes suan laad. Surin sin a kumel smaak injulen tuksje injeloch. Agus a klachig son ar kutjachig. Agus behen a jenu na sase agus na shar. Chanjel tuksje injeloch kunners de wachen dunje. Agus ha sin sin a jerafachig. Agus ha mi een dogus gewelsju gen een viach rinje. Tap a live.
Vel shifse is a gra gevel machen dinje a jana barach merken na tukje in je loch.
Ha.
Well, va tidach vai ans na neachgin ag toisiach míos seo gan rá dunne a basachaich an an operation agus va tiise inge lach a genu an operation seo.
Ach, mar a hurst misje ha.
Ag charami dú seo. Va me va mach a dunne a genu, ma va dunne a genu seo va bíag 99% chance gan bí a hast bia.
Ach, mar a hurst misje ha dakit kukit mele dunje vasach ik aan een zeker medical voor maken dunje.
Bud ddíach unneach sin unneach Harold Chipman agus ha bí tu sé inalach na sear agus na sear sin operation.
Okay, na geist. Kimmer vi tú is dat tiise inge lach a fáing out na laving card.
Ska bhíh tú gachlachcaich ddíach mar an an oprichen agus mar
Me va tiise inge lach me va saveltje vi ag a hula dunne. So ha vel sé gra.
Shooting a week hulle dunje.
Ach James
Stoch
stoch gan bí Janu ag dos na laving card sin keist. Agus get ik dinge ag clach gur san written donne.
Shooting dunje klachki dat be aan een doi donne.
Ach hurst feel like an raw ga vi ag a hula dunne ve dach an an oprige is with
mar seo
agus sin kitach a shelting gang gevelle kunnerstach.
Kimmer ska
Gas ga vi ag a hula dunne.
a chaach a thula dunne.
Maar hurst misje ha city ek een phone ha city een phone it.
Agus thur siúise mí géin am an Alexa.
Ach kimmer a vi tú stat mar inlach mar robot in fine as na laving card.
Kimmer ha sinje staat gunniken en found down in maar rutten kunnerstoch maar gunniken agus tukse injelach.
So wij die ook daar rutten kunnerstoch. So how gent
Van mij dollar
gewel tikse injelach kunnerstoch. Wij die ook daar rutten kunnerstoch.
No, van misje dollar gra maar gunniken ha overzag kunnerstoch wel siefse gunter klassen. Femit zo'n rutten overzag kunnerstoch maar een AI overzag kunnerstoch maar rutten hurst dus ha categorie nuclear bombs be femit to license hulka gaan nu ring je dat gedalk in buig is kan nog rutten
kunnerstoch hast fijn gunniken gun license hij hast de tachirst.
So hurst tú me géin robot a ddíra cron neach oper do Volkswagen. Gan jou féna seaúir sin hurst tú ha sin smuintin go bhfuil.
No hurst me gaan jou mis muntjin get tú beste baan.
Ach
net
bheachsa.
Ach hij ans na nechen.
Agus
ach maar hurst dus gaan jou hurst use nach 11 is ounce na nechen kun je een tukje in je lach.
Stoch
hurst dus
en je tú beste baan va hast tukje in joch gaianu.
Hab typisch in eile a tachirst.
Maar
stocha gun tuich rut mar
Traum
orsin an ceannachit.
Agus
An sin is cara an rut traum a bhil.
Chará sin go brímiging sin bheit brímiging tu sé inlach.
Has a gra ganúring tu sé inlach a déanú a torst Harris an Sulacin. Agus thurstú nach éil Alexa guma smart. Gleich.
Sin ceisciad. Ach Jamie rin an an Jake bliana bí sin tárnas airtach. Bí daine tárnas airtach
ha málagar son an dú a bhil tu sé in je lach kunners doach an dunne. An draste.
Chanjelle graste. Absolutely chanjelle graste.
Ha heet fachkel sa volley. Ha heet fachkel sa volley ha agus ha kilach ag an present tense.
Hij gachrochig. Get ik gachrochig. Garige even aan zo ging je eerste. Aan een kojunig. Ha sinje er de jerry jaif. Gewel tikje in je lach. Kunnerst gemaakt dinge. Kimmer nach uringa wie kunnerst. Nu de ha het dal het torst er oprigen. Agus JV dinge het janu. Nu nach heel operache. Agus ma ha use is menigig. Nach heel tikje in je lach kunnerstjach. Bring room aan een kerret bliene. Well, ga bidden gut shiniganu. Being a robot zeer dovaravig. Tap alive.
A charige evnaan a gunje ursle. Maar a hurstjin. Ga nye rut donne a haun een tukje in je lach. Ach, rut scanjal agus kudjachal. bí tar duine ga chhlacha gach lá son an bethe ac in a dhéanú na seaar. Agus hanna níana na gra tá rutan nach chéile cínteach me dhéin. Thuirstiad me dhéin cúteach na básachaigh sca tuigse inelach ach chaneal fianis achcha. Agus haid de brín me dhéin an dávílas cúcat agus ha duine a gra. Ha seo a sealtain nach fianis go leor achcha son na jeirfachaigh nach tuigse inelach cúnairs do bhachan duine. Tap a live.
Drugichin I dhéanú lugol, gus balchin mór a bhréitín I dhéanú na sábailte. Cúspar counsbaideach, bí beach gacah seo mar rá. Ha maintir bhréitín sa chumantas is munachuig mar seo. Na sína na cerit, chanéal na lugan cruig go leor. Fách erit, féimir lugan grugichin a lacachuig. Nise, ha cultas go má ág a thula duine acabhse, nach buie gan tuh acine. Ach, a cur fialaga gan darna tuh. Ha cútramach gan tíag sin ulag an bhalig is sin diisiil bré a tharst a réir na fianis. Súil vinneteach a bhalig ag an níire seo. Díadach a há lugol a céalachaig. Iné nach bí luganan an cosgráichin a há lugol, chané go jaraf, mar eisimplar ha lugol ddraibhig an an breitin ach féimtu bhí seachtdíach díachan a dhéanú ddraibhig a réir casc aster an tuamhheart agus le cúram. A charitin, ha imig dúich ha fatan is oscailte a hif grugichin na ha breitin, ach an cóní luganan a réalich drugichin lugol. Sé astíine a Deasbad an Jew, ach an bachorchin eisimplar an dúchanan han is oscailte a lentin, gus ar balchin móre a dhéanú na sábailte. Cóig pís an pistrachi gaibh. San an alpa a han ire bás grugichin as ásta san rein orpa. Da. Ha cúteachn a básachaigh le heroin an an breitin gach cóig minútin heroin curson. Well, sé cúsje nó heroin salach nó HIV is carach. 3. An an sescit a chiad je vursten vreitin va kiel ag a vurster nó neach a vurstach rí drugichin. 4. Ha loch 1 díag billion nácht malast grugichin na dúche agus cool éker ha bain an graask. Ha ire vurs lunin inis nes áste na New York. Coig. Ha éker an beke grugichin a gal gach minut gin lá agus a gövrichig in 3 parst de jéke vreitin. Gu simpli. Ha roar balchin móre rief cho kunnerstoch. Jaravig nach na luganan grugichin a hakin a goper. As an darna áte, agus gus fuascla go lorach ha mi inis san tarst gu Portugal, als na hochtan. Aragit go leor vo iascoch is turasach, dragichin go leor ran cianoch. Innen ascach deichner an beoch lachgich le heroin, duine a cur snachatsin an te heen ans na strachin, merle, eunsi agus murst gach lá. En tuavis a basachich rilín cús grugichin a gal, en hier is áste de HIV sin reinjorpe. Portugal en J, bereitin en Jew. J reinen realtas. Reinighat a vi na begrúaie bullach drugichin, pennisin more. Ach, as neugeten, get bij ekerich grugichin van een 6 a chiet je vriesnich, van suigig na bewisse bullach. Davidas a hun, policy Charwai tulluch mi lugol drugichin a vi akid, non gal, ach jémich luch gal, nochgich ik neachhoproch socialte, gus eunsigich me haik. Tí hacher ans na blianchin a len. Hucht an arif je luch clachki agus HIV. Hucht basen kielche die drugichin le och kiet se hiet. Hucht farnjart kielche die drugichin le keuket se hiet. Hucht na van realtas a kosk drugichin le trichet se hiet. Rollife va ieren clachki heroin fatte na bewisse na breitin, ach en Jew ha nire heroin jeich tursen nes luge inis na breitin. Inis. Maar skrif in Irish Animal Time Want to win the war on drugs? Portugal has the answer. An cúnich, ha éker grugichin an an balchin mór vretin irigal a rian. Ha isimpler Portugal na Jarvik gwyl schlie na Sharan. Han talman Portugal a lentin.
Dragichin, y finachach ansnachklar, maar drage nu voetigen elle a hat tot bui denigin nu de wiese dolf nat gorp. De harten, has nu fiking gavoer gach wa en bui hek dragichin in tehuld, le storien ure ne niochen nu mianen socialte. Het deunie basocher scato gragichin, get de bene trippotjen slanje ha chin cool varue, maar is een plaar eilsche jonkunat grim grie egoal. Kujach an een aardjin mar Mexico, nu ham ik krutch vuur en straatjen aking heen, strie etter wojenen wies reek gragichin, ha gumatriek kriuchnachig an een moest. Dus je wil scheisje werk, gewel gragichin janu lagal, nus kutermoch na furach bio agus faroch in savaltje, an een baltjen maar glasgu agus guneetjen. Wel, chanjalt misje agus Sandy, schavoor grisje na shinekra le wie fiachen niet dragichin janu lagal an een baltjen moere. Het dragichin een klechkig gulachels en tehuld, zijn aduje koikiet kerrit zo hoog miele dinge gach wa. An een davile se shiajiak was zich ook kiet scheske se scherknech an een awabe scato gragichin egoal. Zijn fichit se tri se hiet waroch na een davile se koikjiak. Sami krutch guet hienig kiet se shia en mache se hiet waroch na een davile se shia. An een jich bliune ha naduje waschen duplachig. Se heroin en drag go keuket se koik en mache se hiet in behen sho. Skatje van bashen so shows kommente sne balchen moore. An een glasu agus donation naar is een plaren gleva. In hanach scheische gre shortje grage han een joch wager. Wel, ha viel ni schaun gre. Han NHS hushia hiet kerrit se koik peingsjak million noot gach bliune tubaschen agus telden do eani. Is ku joch 3 hiet scherket se ga peinkeer million noot shirwaschen karabich erigin. Mus menniges scheip een shores an minach, sin barach million noot gach bliune glekker skate joch wager ha bagal. Na mir dragig in bagal, hachlich tubaschen chinesen agus ekelin. Sio ik ieden tor nus misse. Gaan jij waan gewil een NHS klekker een harakidachkersen, a ga ekelden hoofdjoch een water klekker etter ook agus trijak biljoen gach bliune. Heb je nog eens gewil meer schalt in kleur vier schijf zo'n jaravig een penk nach bieg baltjen mode savaltje na miek dragig in bagal. Wie get na natjechen waan koenarst agus ekelden agus gershone jodig sin shin en jodig schijf hene tapeleef.
Behar drugichin a lagal gus balchin mór freitin a na savaltje. Le drugichin a lagal, she came mór dirt as an Icelandshik a vegan. Ha kus akin gin viach gewel a hulerut duis gal. Gewel droch drugichin is drugichin medical gaan. A chator ahasken haan, a shaltin gewel drugichin mi lagal kutchachol is savaltje a hevslantje. Ha canap a kutchachig dene le Parkinson's, Genius Crohn's, PTSD, ha balkan boogrug, kunt je hele traumeenschien, ha MDMA, kunt je hele PTSD, is eilsje, en inderdaad le LSD, cocaine, fuse ketamine, is machine eruit. Ach, skak wil het meelagel, veel meer luchtraans is dinja ha een klakkers en everen met de kach, een varki ju. Ha scha a kurische varki, ach ha kutjach fattenes kunnertig wie klakke gruggichen, ha drich een meskeheek les doen puintjach. Vi getorna behaveltje do luchranski agus dinnechin vi fein vovu na vogochter. Ik kreeg na Deasbad seo has 3 eter fialsenach ietjolach agus pragmatach. Ach han ienis vo valchen mode freten ienu saluguin nach oprich fialsenach ietjolach karage. Has je kur feim fuusglug ik oprich is teve stui en erke te haking. Fius get nog bi kutjakov bulloch kofferto lechen jalsenach. Geforte nog sa'n sir a han fuusglach trippeltjen balchen mode. A charachin behor gragichin ienu lagal gus balchen mode vreten ienu na savaltje. Thank.
O moch rechts a hanig, dragichin, lagal, an ymreting, ha Àrd-sgoiltean fatte kjar. Na méoch drogichin logal iniu cha bhíoh cáil a bhuringáin a gceanú, gus dat a bhí cúr écor a fastnas comanta. Agus chaneal mi hén nó hana fá Àrd-sgoiltean is on a bhí firroch an a nuhích mar sin ítir. A chárstin. Ha follosoch gyda'n hych ciar y fiach o'n drogichin y genu logal sgag y miach na batch mwra an a 4 droch stach agus cha fiach dois y mi aging cwysyn y charged na miach drogichin logal. E fag y siaif yn sanasoch cochilche ry joch lodger. Hwyr Heineken sanasoch na Olympics an o lwning 2 sa gaiach. Yn nes deha sin y shouting ein. Ding je ook dol thinking na look sport animal a hek na Olympics, agus deha je te thinking ach van is eintje nog is van joch lodger. Ge de sin het wordt mis nog aan de dingen ook tochtig a goal. Ha dingen ook je a gevrige ekor on ha voor vuai joch lodger. Na meer drogichin logal. Een 5 look reek drogichin en neugorichin li look reek joch lodger. Catch me in drughin a rig on a Tesco no Asda. A we find everyday value on. If we do packaging more at Jurach and Rounse on a Tesco, ek priis gema isho. Ha mi nochas na hi kin show, agus nyangshin kanchoch nach meer drughin mi logo. Na meer sing eferoch an a seul vara road drughin logo. Kemmer a weich in horst noch aking a jeelige grish. Gedig teacherin, pilotin, agus doktorin, ule if he of vuai drogichin. Agus marchin, ga buring eif in oper ake a janu kjarst. Ga viech misje if arking savalche na meich een teacher akum a gaval drogichin, ner va mi fiaching a gaunsachig. Agus ga viech misje if arking savalche na meich een nokje akum a fiach nu jelige ruim, ek ino for vuai drogichin. Na meich Theresa May canab, catch meich Brexit. If es seo de ha Àrd-sgoil jarloch a giori, ha siw fat a ciar. Ha folle sioch gyfal drugichin a gyfrochach ekor, na misg mwrst. Behe dinge njochin toch chaw. En je seo de ha singe a blosnochach. En je seo de ha singe a giori is om de balchen more. Gan na chwaw naking. Tap live.
Hurtjef can be éker fastest misse, ach Calum Fianish, ha akinje, Shanna hacher an in Portugal, na de huge éker, Jade Biakerson.
Ha sin thinking mnure chai joch lodger gyfi logal, ha na écoring giroch lol suas, chanjalt lol sias.
Hasine primin drugichen an een
A sé joch lodger drugge.
ach ha logam ra, is hasine primin drugichen this tradition de mar cocaine, cannabis, with the machine. So it's many here Portugal, high naker shias.
Ach, sy'n ti doch ygu hi. Cefn hapus saged gynnob tirsin as chwba at ffys yn ymbrechdi.
Ma hau giri esimpler ele, it's many here Colorado. High druggy in yenu lugal an in Dalsi Gaelic, is huge acre of reation shin. So many as station ele mar California as action mission.
Ma ha siúse gyori exemplar alle, an a Canada ha écorin giroch
Gaf mal eisiau sy'n cor am ac yn iecation ffeinach. Glwys i sy'n yr ard. Wel, mae'n nach o ffricr ach acaf. Glwys i sy'n yr ard.
Okay, efo si fes mynwch eich gyfel lagan yn gyrag i'ch yn breid yn y gober.
Ha.
Kerst, cyrson ha eicr eis bas an yn alpe yn atjes misses yn sy'n an yn sy'n rhain orsbe.
Fianni siai gres yn nache smis as y rhain orsbe.
Ba sy'n y brim un sio an sy'n o'r siacin. Mach di gift.
Ha fod y sioch nachal na lagan y gwybr ma ha Mae'r hwyd mi na morad gyfal na hadwyn drefasyn ar sgas dwgrag i'ch yn ha mi ddagol dwblach gan yn drich blynau.
Ach, an ie'r sgas na ddyrgu chi'n an, sie'r sgas na lygan yn.
Sie'r sgas na dragi yn han. Dyn nhw'n has na'n gwael, sy'n
Han ein dyrgu chi'n an y Portugal is, chanel yn i'r bas chal ard. A tor dúcla déile a glúsa an san tibh sin cúteach, mar nid a bhí an rhain go ggéir muid poblach na seic is mar sin ard.
Sin i'r bas na chael gyn y vlogol, sian na hachar. Nach o sin gylior fi yn y sgaif.
Ach, an a dúchan in ma Canada ha dol yn ard.
Chanel Canada in Logan Portugal Ariana.
Has er in Canada Yanu Lago,
San
San had
Amara Drugin on the canap.
Sin in drugge.
Have a son, Mahashin has Maha Ugrag,
Sin in duhi.
Maha Ugrag, Maha Giroch Ugrag Lagal and in Canada, San had in the Nardima Virgich and nach Jirna had in Nard Buloch.
Maha chun chóirsiad
And now to the final of the Gaelic Schools Debate 2018 live from the Parliament building. And we've had the debate between Inverness Royal Academy A and Nicholson Institute A. The adjudicators are back in the chamber. And presenting the prizes tonight is Dr. Janet Brown from the SQA and John Joseph Isaac from the BBC. But I'm going to ask Agnes Rennie and take us to that. Please welcome Agnes. What a very pleasant evening. Although I had that challenge and Ian, Stephen and Boyd, it is a challenge that we've enjoyed, and we've enjoyed it at each and every round that we've heard. It is I'm not sure whether the last gets back, but this is our first year, although Ian Stephen is there before. I don't know whether he'd want to be part of us again. I've seen it as a parent, I've seen it from the other side, from being in the audience, and I've now seen it at this year's debate and seen it as an adjudicator. And if there's one thing that's clear, it's the way these teams develop from the first day we hear them. Each and every team that took part is to be praised, but particularly those here in the final. You were just excellent. And I sincerely hope that you continue debating with someone, but without falling out, of course. I think that's one lesson that we saw. And I hope that politician, this place, that saw it and listened to how strong you were, how prepared you were, and okay, we saw sparks now and again, but of course that's what makes good debate. But you were polite to each other. Now you want to hear who won. And listening to everyone over the 4 days that we've heard the debates, we've come to the decision that the strongest speaker that we've heard, and particularly tonight, is Hannah MacLeod from the Nicholson Institute.
Tapli Agnes, is Melfaner.
Congratulations, Hannah. In this new post, I've now been here for 6 months with Radio Nàiseanta, and this is one of the best nights that I've had. I mean, I'd like to thank the 4 of you for an excellent night, and I very much agree with the words that Agnes said about the debate that we've heard here. So on behalf of BBC Radio Nàiseanta and for those at home, I think they must also have enjoyed the night, and thank you for that. But I would like to present this prize to Hannah and to congratulate her. And after much decision and a lot of discussion, bit of debate amongst ourselves, we came to the decision that the Nicholson Institute is tonight's winner. If you would both come up now.
Can I just add, unfortunately not in Gaelic, my congratulations to both of you, both teams. It was a very, very interesting debate, and I would not have liked to argue either side of it. I think you both teams have done an absolutely stunning job, and congratulations to both of you for being here and for providing us with such excellent arguments. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Janet, and John Joseph, and Agnes Boyd, and Ian Stephen. And we can't forget the two teams. Inverness Royal Academy A, you were wonderful. And congratulate the Nicholson Institute A, who have won the 2018 Gaelic Schools Debate. In a minute, we're not quite ready. We hope to hear from the teams and from some of the adjudicators. But for now, a little music, starting with Nightworks.